Hello and welcome to this video on buying and selling inventory. Order Time at its core is an inventory and order management system that helps you track inventory movements from supplier to customer. So in this video we'll show you how to start buying and selling inventory. We are going to create a purchase order and then receive it, after which time we'll create a sales order and ship it. You'll find useful information in our online knowledge base, which you can access using the icon on the top right portion of your screen. I encourage you to review both the purchasing cycle and the sales cycle. The first thing I'm going to do is to create a vendor record or supplier. I'm going to go to Create New and I'm going to select a vendor. All I need to do is create a unique name for the vendors. The rest of the information is optional. Next, I'm going to create a couple of items that are inventory parts. Again, I go to Create New. This time I select Items. For my item group, I'm going to select Parts Group. And then again, I need to enter a unique name for the item. And that's all I need to do with the unit of measure, but I will continue and add the description, the price, the purchase description, and the cost. There we go. So we'll just go ahead and create one more item now. We'll see our items that we created today on the items list. Now that we have the vendor and the two part numbers, I'm going to go ahead and create a purchase order. Again, I go to Create New. This time I select Purchase Order, and I'm going to select, just start typing in the vendor that I just previously created. I can type in any portion of the name. So I select that and go next. The next thing is I fill out the basic information about this vendor, including custom fields if I need to, promise date, and now I'm going to save the basic information for the purchase order. I look at my Items tab, and then I start adding my items. So once I start just typing in a few item names, I can then find that item and type it in, put in the quantity that I want to order from the vendor, and lo and behold, we have the starting of a purchase order. In order to move to the next step to receive the purchase order, we're going to go ahead and approve it. We're also going to send the purchase order to our vendor. So I'm going to go ahead and create the PDF. And here we have our completed purchase order. I'm going to click Save an Email. I can either click on a user or a contact or the record, send it to one user, and I'm going to CC another user. Type in right here. I'm going to select my purchase order template, which is like a mail merge. It has the purchase order number, name of the vendor, and the ship date, as well as my information as well. It automatically attaches that, and I go ahead and send, and we have the history of that email being sent to the vendor. Now that the purchase order is approved, I will see the receiver button on the purchase order. If the purchase order is not approved, that will be invisible. And only certain users can be set to approve purchase orders. So I'm going to go ahead and receive the purchase order. All right, so I press the receiver, and then we have a new screen called the receiver, which automatically receives the items into inventory. Let's assume that we didn't receive the whole amount and we only received 7. So that means that 8 are still open. I'm going to go ahead now and say that we've received the inventory, and voila. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to this item detail, and we're going to see that in fact we have our inventory in stock. I can also navigate to the inventory list and start typing in our item. So there again is the inventory, which happens to be in the main warehouse in a bin called floor. Now that we have some inventory, I'm going to go ahead and sell those items that we received. Of course, the first thing we need to do is create a customer or select one of our existing customers. Again, to create a customer, I'm going to go to Create New and select Customer. As with the vendor, all I have to do is add a unique name and copy that billing address to the shipping address. Custom field. We're going to add at least one contact. Okie doke. So that's creating our customer. Now we're going to proceed to create a sales order. So this time, instead of going to Create New, I'm already on the customer detail. I'm just going to navigate to the Sales Order tab and click Create New Sales Order. Enter the customer's PO number. All the information is here. And go ahead and save. Just like before, we're going to start adding those items. Now, I've added the column over here called Available using the layout designer for the lists. But I can also hover over the hyperlink of the item and see some more information. We're going to go ahead and add our second item. Alrighty. So now we have the beginnings of a sales order, which we can fill in totality. So again, I'm going to approve the sales order to generate a shipping document this time. Again, if it's not approved, we cannot create a shipping document, and that's for control purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and create the shipping document. I'm going to generate my invoice, send it to the customer, and then finally we're going to say that this shipping document has been shipped. So now we'll see that this item will have 9 units in inventory because we purchased one and then we sold one. We'll see the details of the transactions on the transaction listing over here.